7/24.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
It really didn't sink in, you know. He goes, well, okay, we got in there, and they put you in this hut there, the barracks they called them, right there. And of course, it was a different way of life. Right away, you're up at a certain time in the morning, and you got to go out and you got to muster and this and that, and it was just a different way of life. But you got into it. And I think I don't remember, it was 9 weeks or something. I'm not sure of the time there we had to spend there. They had guys there that couldn't take it, couldn't stand it. And we had one guy got up on the roof of the barracks and dove off and committed suicide. He surprised guys that hadn't been to church for forever. And they just started to go to Sunday services, and maybe catch up a little bit with the Lord where they hadn't been too good. The training was done right on the ship.
Okay, I see.
Right on the ship. You were assigned to the crew, and then they took you in there, and they explained all the positions, what they did, and why they were there, and the guns were very, very accurate.
What kind of guns were they?
5-inch. We took 5-inch anti-aircraft. Anti-aircraft. That's where I worked. Here's the way it worked. You had powder cases, and you had the regular projectiles. And from the powder room, they'd come up automatically. They would come up automatically, and on the way up, the projectiles themselves that were going to be exploding, the fuses were being set automatically, connected with the gunnery officer who was up here in a strategic place, directing his sights right on the target. And here we go. All right, I said, plane went over here. This followed all the way down here until you were ready to shoot. And when you were ready to shoot, you were on the target.
Yeah.
And of course, they shot. Those guns shot 20 projectiles a minute from each gun. They would open up on the target at 4 miles. But don't take long when you're doing 200 or 300 miles an hour.
Right.
And the gunnery officer was in charge. See?
So how many people to a gun?
Probably 6, 7. We shot down, 8 or 10. We shot down. And things are exploding on the dock. I could see when you're coming up this way.
Yeah.
I got to see with that telescope. And wow. Wow. Everything's blasted away. They're just blasting everything.
In your report, there was a Kamikaze Hit.
There certainly was. And it was right.
Do you remember that?
Do I remember it? I guess so.
Yeah.
See, I called the general quarters, and this one came in, and it hit the side of it. It didn't quite clear the deck like that. Anyway, it all smashed up. One half of the Jap stayed on board, and one wing of the plane stayed on board.
Right.
Whatever he was carrying, whatever bomb he was carrying, did not explode. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
No. And then we had another near miss, and which they didn't pay much attention to because it never. Just all it did is rock the boat.
That pilot was buried a few days afterwards. He was sewed up in a canvas bag, and just about where the quarterdeck starts, the gangway starts, he was eased over the side, buried at sea, with full colors. I remember how I felt about it. I thought it was a very humane thing to do at the time.
Did for that rotten Jap.
Did you?
Well, they did.
Okay.
The clergy.
Okay.
They did. They had a service right there, and then they dumped them in the sea. Just a morale thing. I say, which one I would say, be civilized.
Yeah.
That's just the way I looked at that. Never lost anybody. One guy, and it was the strangest thing you can imagine. It was a 40 millimeter gun where they had a shield like this, iron shield, about 3.5 feet high. What this kid was doing, standing in there, I don't know. But anyway, they were checking the gun out, and the guns come down, and there wasn't much clearance.
Right.
Where he was standing in the shield, and it got him.
Kind of crushed him.
Kind of crushed him, yeah. One guy, that's all. Well, he came out here this one day, and he came over and is walking over to me, hey, this is the Admiral.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the whole fleet. This is a VIP. So you were on your not best behavior, and you did, you were just right there because of him. He come out this one day, and he come over, walked over to me, put his arm around me like this, and he says, "Now, son, what do you think of those Jap flags on the bridge?" I says, "Well, sir, I'm very proud of those. This shows we're doing our job." He says, "Well, I want to tell you something. On this next trip out, because we were reprovisioning on this next trip out," he says, "we're going to have the bridge all full of flags, or we're not going to have no bridge at all." What the hell's he talking about? Right? Well, I sure as hell found out, because that next trip out is when we pulled the bombardment on Japan proper. But you know something? Nothing came out. Not a plane, not a submarine, nothing. They're saving everything for the invasion, see? Go ahead our way.
The Japanese have accepted our terms fully. That's the word we've just received from the White House in Washington. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the Second World.
We got that over the ship's loudspeaker from the captain.
Yeah.
And of course, from right there, for 1 minute, with everything so secret, and no lights, no cigarettes, no, nothing. You had a lot of regulations. But there it was wide open. This was weird. Now we're out on the sea, wide open lights and everything else, and for all these months and years, right? we suffered under these regulations because we had to be secret.
A sense that there might be something, or was that just more for, I don't want to say show for the Japanese, saying, "Look at, we're all guns a-blazing if we need to." Was it ceremony, or did you feel like there was a sense of immediacy?
Oh, no. We didn't know if there'd maybe be retaliation or what. We were very careful on everything. And of course, when we sailed into the bay and kind of took over, where you could see nothing was happening, and there was no sun. When they agreed to surrender, it was under the conditions that they were allowed to keep their sovereign ruler. That was a big point right there. And then, of course, they didn't see that would be any destruction, and so they agreed to it. And from that minute on, geez, everything just changed. Bing. Lights on, everything. Hey, we're going home. The Japanese coming up the gangplank here. Okay? And I was like on this side.
Right.
But I was where the ship came in with all the dignitaries.
Right.
See? And so the only people were on this skiff was the two. Momoran Shigemitsu and Yumiso was the other guy's name. And these were the two that came to sign the document.
What a memory! Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a long time ago. Here's something. I don't know this. They never made this public, and I don't want this to go any further. But I'll tell you. Okay. When they were signing the documents, okay, The first people that signed the document was an American, right there, and he signed on the wrong line. And when it got done here, everybody's signing for the wrong country. No, they're ready to go down, the Japanese are, to get back in their skiff to go back where the hell they came from. MacArthur, he noticed this, so he calls them back, right? And they talk over here and they fuss a little bit there, and then finally, I guess they're satisfied, and they go ahead and they go. Never made public.
Oh, wow. As a lawyer, I find that funny and fascinating.
Never made public.
Yeah.
There's only very few people that know that. It's people that were there.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No cheering, no bands playing, no fanfare. Very solemn. You got your final word, and then when you went out the door, why, they didn't own you anymore. What a dumb feeling. After all that time, you know? I'm just telling you. You went out there and go, geez, what the hell do I do now? And of course, we got our big surprise. We got mustering out pay, $300, which started you out, you know. And of course, you were back with your people. Royce agreed. We had a girlfriend, of course, who I later married. The original crew of the Missouri was all invited to attend this recommissioning because they put it in mothballs right after the war.
Right.
Bremerton, Washington. Yeah, I got an invitation from the Navy Department. And my wife flew out there, and we went. We attended it. What very impressive to have all these sailors for about damn near 45 minutes running up there to take the position on where they're going to be on the ship.
Right.
Until they all got in there and they recommissioned the ship by fanfare. I forget whatever was said, but anything, but it was something to see.